Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Protests plan to demand the resignation of the entire Dominica government are top story in Caribbean Newsline from Monday, February 6, 2017. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Dawn Paris. Good evening. Dominica's main opposition United Workers' Party, the UWP, will take to the streets on Tuesday to demand the resignation of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt. Opposition leader Lennox Linton said that UWP is teaming up with the Dominica Freedom Party, and it has also got support from groups in civil society. The demonstration will be led by the Patriots of Dominica, and protesters will gather in the capital to call for not only Skerritt to go, but his entire cabinet as well.
Patriots are coming to the capital city in recognition that the power in people is greater than the people in power. And when the people in power offend the people, when the people in power injure the interest of the people, manage their affairs badly, use the power of the people to enrich themselves, and use the authority to make people more dependent and poorer, then it is time for the power of the people to intervene. And we believe that the time has come, given all the disgraceful conduct of this administration, shaming the name of Dominica in the international community. It is necessary for the patriots of this country to stand. It is necessary for the power in people to ensure that the good name of Dominica is restored.
Linton, who posted that video on his Facebook page Sunday night, also distanced his party from any planned violence. He said the protesters have no intention of going that route.
Correspondents making the rounds suggesting all kinds of things that are planned to be done and not done, and a lot of folks are tying that to the United Workers' Party. The United Workers' Party knows absolutely nothing about any statement of this kind or any other similar statement making the rounds. Any statement suggesting violence, suggesting attack on people's lives or properties, suggesting that anybody should be arrested or whatever, is not coming from the United Workers' Party. These are propaganda tools employed by our opponent to provide excuses and cover for the police to take on supporters and peaceful people who will assemble in Roseau on Tuesday.
Meanwhile, the ruling Dominica Labour Party is also rallying its supporters. They've been asked to wear the party colour red on Tuesday. It's a move Linton sees as incitement to confront supporters of the opposition UWP. The leader of Jamaica's main opposition People's National Party, Portia Simpson Miller, is stepping down on April 2nd. The 71-year-old announced at a meeting of her party's National Executive Council on Sunday that she will hand in her resignation as opposition leader to Governor General Sir Patrick Allen after she makes her contribution to the budget debate in Parliament. Although Simpson Miller is stepping down as party president, a position she held for 11 years, she will continue to serve as Member of Parliament for South West St. Andrew. Ahead of her departure, the party will host a special delegates conference on March 26 to choose a successor. Nominations for the post opened on Monday and will close on Friday. But there are concerns that Simpson Miller might have been pressured into announcing a departure date. TVJ's Vashan Brown attended the meeting on Sunday and filed this report.
Dr. Peter Phillips is considered the frontrunner for the post. So will there be any other challengers? Party officials say they do not want to speculate. Now, Mrs. Simsimila has indicated that she will remain for now as Member of Parliament for Southwest St. Andrew. One of the questions some have been asking is why didn't Mrs. Simsimila step down before the budget debate to allow her successor to contribute to the debate as opposition leader?
I mean, she had indicated her desire to make a presentation, and based on the discussions internally, there was agreement on that, and as such, we felt that the transition should take place immediately after.
Some senior members of the PNP say based on the PNP president's speech today, it was clear that she was pressured in setting a timeline for her departure.
I am saddened that what appears to be the linchpin upon which the actual date for the resignation or the start of the transition has been set has to be what appears to be inordinate pressure on the party leader. She does not deserve that kind of pressure.
Where did that pressure come from?
I don't know.
I'm a little sad of how it's going. I again feel that there is some unhappiness in the way she's stepping. I know it's a necessary thing, it should have happened before, but today I don't want to say much.
We put the question of whether Mrs. Simsimila was pressured to the party's chairman.
Pressured for
By whom?
No, party president was not pressured. No.
To have had the NEC today and for her to make her announcement to the NEC, it is hardly likely that she would have made such a momentous announcement and not having some emotion, some disappointments, because as we know, she would have preferred, of course, to have won the last election and left as a prime minister.
St. Lucia's economy is expected to record positive but moderate growth this year. The International Monetary Fund says this is despite weak performance in the tourism sector and continued decline in unemployment in 2016. The assessment follows a 2-week visit to Castries by an IMF mission for the annual Article 4 consultations. It said increased employment in agriculture and construction led to a significant drop in unemployment in the first 3 quarters of last year. But weak activity in tourism, transport and manufacturing hampered the growth of gross domestic product, which is estimated to have reached 0.8% in 2016. In a statement issued Monday, the IMF said despite a positive outlook, there are some concerns. One of them is the possible impact of the government's airport tax on new direct flights from the United States. According to the IMF, the Alan Chastanet administration is launching an ambitious program of economic reform, but key policies are still being shaped ahead of the budget. Those include lowering the tax burden, making the tax system more efficient, and reducing tax compliance costs. Government is also looking into rationalizing the public sector and reviewing the citizenship by investment program. But the IMF says details of the reform program are still pending and many will take time to yield results. It's also raised concern that the reduction of value-added tax from 15 to 12.5% will weaken the fiscal position unless measures are taken to mitigate the impact. Coming up in Caribbean Newsline, Trinidad and Tobago considers holding parents responsible for their children's deviant behavior. Stay with us.
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and Carib Vision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today.
Get ready for the Caribbean's most original carnival, Dominica's Carnival, Mass Dominic 2017, February 4th to the 28th. Revel in the splendor of a masquerade band. Experience the parades, the non-stop fetes, Dominica Nights, Dominiki Do, Mass Dominic, the real mass. Come, revel with us. Visit us online at dominicafestivals.com or call us at 767-255-8221.
The Trinidad and Tobago government is looking into the possibility of holding parents responsible for the actions of their children. Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi says it's a complicated matter to address, but he says it's getting the Keith Rowley administration's attention. Akash Samru of CNC3 News reports.
Responding to questions in the lower house about whether the government would introduce legislation related to parental responsibility. The matter is currently addressed under the Children's and Education Acts, but the AG admits the measures do not go far enough. And he says it is something government hopes to address under the Children and Family Bill.
I will introduce it immediately to the LRC's table on Monday when we continue with the exercise of analyzing the proclamation schedule and add it into the deliberations which we have. So we'll treat it with alacrity.
Still in the Twin Island Republic, frustrated by rising crime in the country, a group of young people on Sunday took a stand. Members of the Youth Empowerment Society, the Yes Movement, garnered support from the Port of Spain City Corporation, the Fraud Squad, entertainers, and others as they led a rally against crime. Alicia Boucher of TV6 News reports.
While many people were at home enjoying the rest and relaxation Sunday brings along with it, these young people were battling the midday heat at Woodford Square, all in the hopes of making TNT a safer and better place. Inspirational speaker Pez Robinson says the current reality is too frightening, questioning whether it's made worse by a desensitized nation. He's calling on society to take a no-tolerance approach to crime, saying non-governmental organizations need to step up to the plate. Furthermore, he feels the government's resources are misplaced.
Do we perhaps need to drastically reduce our expenditure on national security and increase budgetary allocations for community development? I ask this because it is the NGOs who can take these opportunities that the quote-unquote lazy youths are unwilling to take for themselves.
President of the Yes Movement, Soraya Rampersad, says legislation is in place to treat with crime and the government is working. She believes the problem is a lack of cooperation from the public in adhering to basic laws, perpetuating crime by fostering a breeding ground for criminals.
This is what they want, for us to fight amongst ourselves and incite a lack of faith in the law of the land. I hear my people demanding better, but I seldom hear my people coming forth with proactive solutions.
Deputy Mayor of Port of Spain, Helen Moraine, says from an inefficient judicial system, corrupt elements in the police service, to a culture which promotes violence and harassment of women, are problems halting both economical and social growth in the country.
And we accept it. And then we see rape. And then we see young women lying in ditches and we wonder where it came from. It was culturally sanctioned by us.
A culture some may say is echoed in Ultimate Reject's hit song, Full Extreme. The rally is the first of its kind held by the group.
Guyana's Special Organized Crime Unit, SOCU, has launched an investigation into alleged financial crimes at the Guyana Rice Development Board. SOCU officials, assisted by heavily armed policemen, went looking for evidence to support the findings of a forensic audit. We get the details from Travis Chase of HGP TV.
Among other things, the audit revealed that $100 million was allegedly loaned to the Guyana Rice Producers Association's General Secretary, Dharam Kumar Siraj, reportedly to pay rice farmers who had supplied paddy but were owed by the then PPPC administration.
and it's important to take action quickly to gather the documentation that's needed for evidence in cases of accountability, false accounting, money laundering, tax evasion, theft. So that's exactly what SOCU are doing.
UK advisor to Suku, Dr. Sam Sitlington, who was part of the search party. Suku officers are hoping to find documents that would help the lawmen build concrete cases to charge and prosecute persons. That controversial loan agreement, which remains outstanding, featured the signatures of former Minister of Agriculture Dr. Leslie Ramsamy and was reportedly approved by former GRDB General Manager Jack Narain Singh. Suku, though, is not too worried about the possibility of evidence being permanently concealed.
Well, there's an audit trail for everything. There may be documents missing, but you still have an audit trail in terms of financial transactions. There should be projects ongoing. There should be document relating to requirements for their own auditing. They have their own internal auditors and they have an external audit. So there has to be information there to do that. And they're obliged to keep that information for those audits. No doubt there will be things missing, but it's up to SOCU then to try and put together the jigsaw and make a complete picture.
Minister Sharma, in handing over the findings to the police for further investigations, described the loan agreement as ad hoc and purportedly signed with the understanding that the loan would have been repaid in October 2014. Head of Suku, Assistant Police Commissioner Sidney James, declined to say whether anything was found during the search.
As the region enters the annual dry season, countries are being told that heavy showers at this time will not be enough to alleviate the impact of the dry weather patterns over the last 2 years. Last month, St. Kitts reinstated water restrictions as a result of low rainfall. Adrian Trotman of the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology told CMC News the Leeward Islands have been raising concerns about the weather in recent months.
Have to be careful because when you get deluges of rainfall, often it doesn't necessarily go into like groundwater and your soil and so on for agriculture. A lot of it runs off because it's heavy. So it might not really contribute to groundwater reserves or soil moisture reserves and so on. It will contribute a lot to flow, river flow and so on, but often because of runoff it ends up in the sea and not necessarily captured where you always want it. So heavy intense rainfall doesn't it eliminates or it relieves you from drought for a while. But if you don't continue to have some rains, and we didn't in January, at least not thus far, you could enter back into concern. So we have been asking much of the region to continue to monitor despite November and December.
And given the recent drought conditions in the region, Trotman is advising countries to conserve as much water as possible as a precaution during the dry season.
No matter what, we are in our dry season still, and we will continue to be in the dry season till around May, depending on which part of the Caribbean you're in. So whether or not, we always have to consider conservation during this period. And I think the entire Caribbean should be looking to do that. Whether or not they had a good 2016, 2017 dry season, or any other dry season, the first thing on your mind should be, how can we best conserve our water, knowing that we are in the dry season, whether that dry season is a wetter dry season than normal or not.
Still to come, victory for Leeward Islands Hurricanes in their latest regional Super 50 match. Sport is next.
Out of the bodacious and beautiful culture of the Caribbean comes a music and talent competition like no other. Brace yourself for the exciting, entertaining, extraordinary, and new reality docuseries, Icon of the Islands. The story begins in the breathtaking backdrop of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Every year, this is where a wide and diverse range of contestants of all ages and backgrounds audition for a wildly popular and prominent local talent competition. And the ultimate goal for each contestant is to win.
I already have my favorites, but my favorites may not prevail tonight.
Some moments will bring performers to their knees, while some performances will bring fans to their feet. Get ready to see which star will be the last one shining in the spotlight as the stars align this season on Icon of the Islands.
Get ready for the Caribbean's most original carnival, Dominica's Carnival, Mass Dominic 2017, February 4th to the 28th. Revel in the splendor of a masquerade band. Experience the parades, the non-stop fetes, Dominica nights, Dominique Do, Mass Dominic, the real mass. Come, revel with us. Visit us online at dominicafestivals.com or call us at 767-255-8221.
Barbados, renowned for its pristine beachfront and fantastic weather, continues to leave quite an impression on newcomers to the island and returning visitors. The Caribbean island, quite popular as a vacation hotspot, is not only beautiful due to its natural aesthetics. The island of Barbados continues to grow in popularity because of unique connections developed with our people, our culture. We can't wait to welcome you.
Welcome back, and we continue with sports. Favorites West Indies under-19s were crushed by 8 wickets on Monday in their Group A game match against Leeward Islands Hurricanes in match 27 of the Regional Super 50. The under-19s were scuttled out for a paltry 78 off 45 overs when they batted first at the North Sound ground in Antigua. The damage was done by left-arm spinner Akil Hussain, who picked up 4 wickets for 7 runs. Kirsten Kalicharan was the lone batsman to score a respectable total of 28 runs. In reply, the Leeward Islands had no trouble getting past the total. The efforts came from wicket-keeper batsman Jamar Hamilton, who remained unbeaten on 42, while Monson Hodge also remained not out on 31. Jamaica Scorpions captain Nikita Miller says Sunday's victory over combined campuses and colleges Marooners was revenge for their shock loss earlier in the regional Super 50. Scorpions defeated Marooners by 44 runs in a day-night affair at Kensington Oval to assume second spot in Group B on 14 points. Marooners, however, had pulled off a stunning 75-run win over Scorpions on the opening day of the tournament 2 weeks ago, and Miller said avenging that defeat had been his side's driving force on Sunday.
The CC Marooners, they beat us in the first game convincingly. I wasn't really happy about that, as CC over the years haven't really beaten Jamaica, and I was really upset about that situation. So coming into this game, I spoke to my team and told them that this is very important, not for one reason at all. We need to get some wins behind our belt, and the fact that it's a grudge match really, because this is a team that I don't really like losing to.
Meanwhile, a sterling effort by Guyana Jaguars proved fruitless in the end, as unbeaten Barbados Pride pulled off a dramatic 2-wicket win in the last over to ease into the semi-finals of the Regional Super 50 in Barbados on Sunday. Defending 187 in a low-scoring contest at the 3Ws Oval, Jaguars rallied to take the game into the last over before succumbing to their third defeat with 3 balls remaining. Pride seemed assured of victory at 119 for 2 in the 36th over, but Barbadian left seamer Raymond Reefer and fast bowler Wansford Beaton swept through the innings, triggering a collapse which saw 6 wickets tumble for just 61 runs. Pride needed 6 runs from the nerve-wracking last over bowled by Reefer, and Jumel Rarican got a single off the first delivery. Carlos Brathwaite, however, failed to score off the second ball, but the West Indies 2020 star then cleared the ropes at long off with the third ball to hand Pride an emphatic victory. They're 6th on the trot in the competition, which booked them their spot in the Final 4. Over to football now. A second-half strike by Jordan Morris sent Jamaica's Reggae Boys tumbling to a 1-0 defeat to United States in their international friendly at Finley Stadium in Tennessee on Friday night. Following a goalless first half where both teams had excellent chances to get on the score sheet, Morris broke the deadlock in the 59th minute when he finished clinically from 9 yards out. The victory was the Americans' 14th over Jamaica in 24 meetings and the first victory overall for head coach Bruce Arena since his return to head the national side. The game was evenly poised at half-time, but it was the U.S. who pressed after the break, with Graham Zusi coming close in the 57th minute when his shot was tipped over by substitute goalkeeper Ryan Thompson. Jamaica's quest for an equalizer came to nothing as the U.S. controlled the remainder of the game. And finally, the Cayman Islands government says sporting organizations could face tough sanctions if they don't sign on to a new child abuse prevention policy. Sports Minister Osborne Bodden sounded the warning as the government rolled out wide-ranging policies to protect children against sexual predators. Bodden went as far as saying they will be willing to name and shame organizations that refuse to comply with the new rules.
And of those attendees, 3 associations involved in the consultation and drafting of the policy were in attendance: rugby, boxing, and netball. Something the Cayman Islands Boxing Association's Anne-Marie Bird says was an important message to send to their community.
We want parents to feel comfortable. We want the girls to be comfortable that they're coming into an environment that they're safe, and if something happened, they're protected and there are people there who are looking out for them.
Although government was not expecting association leaders to attend yesterday's press conference, they were invited and are expected to physically sign off on the policy as early as next week, something Assistant Chief Officer to the Sports Minister Joel Francis says has received positive indications.
When we presented the draft policy, we had excellent turnout and we had good feedback from the sports associations. And so we expect that we will get cooperation.
Sports Minister Osborne Bodden goes on to say, if in fact there is complacency with the process that has been laid out,
you can believe me, there would be sanctions. And we reserve the right to take action against any association that decides they do not want to be a part of this. We have associations that we fund, as you rightly said, and we also have the right to name and shame. This will not be something that will be taken lightly. So there are no specified sanctions, but action would be taken.
training for newly appointed child protection officers begins later this month, with clearances needing to be completed for said officers by the associations within 3 months' time.
And that's the sport. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Barbados, renowned for its pristine beachfront and fantastic weather, continues to leave quite an impression on newcomers to the island and returning visitors. The Caribbean island, quite popular as a vacation hotspot, is not only beautiful due to its natural aesthetics. The island of Barbados continues to grow in popularity because of unique connections developed with our people, our culture. We can't wait to welcome you.
Get ready for the Caribbean's most original carnival, Dominica's Carnival, Mass Dominic 2017, February 4th to the 28th. Revel in the splendor of a masquerade band. Experience the parades, the non-stop fetes, Dominica nights, Dominiki do, Mass Dominic, the real mass. Come, revel with us. Visit us online at dominicafestivals.com or call us at 767-255-8221.
Again, the major developments of this day. Dominica's opposition plans a protest to demand the resignation of the entire Dominica government. And in sport, victory for the Leeward Islands Hurricanes in their latest regional Super 50 match. And that's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sports round the clock, log into CanadaNews.com. We'll be back again here tomorrow. From all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and good night.